Notre Dame Admissions Committee. My name is Paul Bickel, and I have a dream. My dream is to be part of the Fighting Irish. Thank you so much for offering me a spot on the wait list this year. I hope you enjoy the following video, and I'd love to see you in the fall.
Paul was on the team and an instrumental member of the team. He gave the final talk of the retreat called The Fifth Day, which is an encouragement of the seniors to continue to live out their call as Catholics and as coming from a Jesuit school. And I have to honestly say, or I can honestly say, that he gave the best talk for that particular talk that I have heard in 7 years of going on the Majas.
He's someone that I have known here, especially in this last year at Bellarmine, and I've done some retreats with him, and I just know what a person of faith he is, and what a leader he already is, and how much I know he would contribute to your school at Notre Dame.
Paul was one of the students that I've had the pleasure of working with for the last 4 years. Paul was involved in working with computers. He was very good at working with other students. He was good at taking direction. He's a very good team player, very creative. One of the things about Paul, which was amazing, was he was not afraid to take charge and try to solve a problem on his own. He was always on time. He was willing to go out of his way and put in the time to do whatever he could, because he wanted to make sure that the task was done right. He loved bowling. At the same time, he wanted to learn, and this is the quality about Paul, is he's willing to learn and wants to. So my interaction with Paul has been really tremendous, not only from a work study student, not only learning about him as a fine young man, and also learning about having fun with him as in a team sport. His heart and desire is to come to Notre Dame.
I've known Paul and of Paul and his family for a while. I've taught Paul this year in prayer class, and he's been an outstanding member, and he's done superior work all the way through the class. In campus ministry, though, that's where Paul has really shined. Not only has he been a leader for 2 years in our faith and formation program, he has attended all of our retreats, as well as helped to lead our retreats, starting with the pilgrimage, the beginning of senior year in September. He's also a member of our junior encounter. Also in senior year, our longest, and I guess you could say our deepest retreat, is the Majas. And again, Paul, like the junior encounter, but a different format, gave a talk, led a small group of his peers, and gave witness to his life in Christ all the way through the retreat weekend. There's very few kids in general who accomplish all that Paul has. Paul has a tremendous faith. He comes from a very strong family, and has done a great job in witnessing to that, not only this year, but really for 4 years. I've been at Notre Dame for a couple of NCEA conferences, and I think Paul would fit in quite well and achieve well and serve the student body at Notre Dame.
I think Paul is a good role model because he's a natural leader. He's like one of those people that you just want to follow because he's kind and supportive, and even though he tells me how to be better on my saxophone, and sometimes it feels like another leader would make it feel like condescending or anything, but Paul just makes you a better person and a better player, and he's a cool guy.
I've known Paul Bickel for the past 4 years in our music program. He's an outstanding tenor saxophone player. He has served our music department as drum major for the last 2 years. Paul has strong leadership skills. Students in our program as well as teachers look up to him. I highly encourage you to accept him into your program. You will not be disappointed.
Hi, my name is Deacon Bill Eckert. I'm from the class of 1981, and I just remember back to my time at Notre Dame, how amazing it was to be with a group of people who all had some of the same goals that I did. People of faith, but also people who were pushing toward an education and changing the world. I remember when my mom came out for graduation, I took her around the campus and we went to the Basilica where I sang with the choir. to the Rock where I played basketball for inter-hall sports, to my classrooms where my professors taught, and of course to all the dorms where I lived so much of my life and spent so much time. But we finally made it down to the grotto, and the grotto was the real heart and soul of the campus. And I remember praying there with her and just realizing how special my 4 years at Notre Dame had been. At the end of graduation, my mom said to me she couldn't think of a better place for me to have grown into a man. Now the reason I say this is because that's the kind of person Paul Bickel is. Paul's the kind of person I met and lived with and fell in love with when I was at Notre Dame. He has the personality of a Notre Dame student. Academically, he's top-notch, and he'll thrive at any campus he chooses. But he's a person of tremendous leadership and faith, which is the kind of person I found when I was at Notre Dame. People who had a strong connection to the church and to God. Paul's been in charge of many of our retreat programs. He's been involved in every aspect of campus ministry. He's shown leadership because that's where his heart is. His heart's not just in his head. His heart is in his faith. So this is why I would recommend that you take Paul at Notre Dame. He'll grow into a good, solid young man of the Catholic Church. But better yet, he'll change Notre Dame. He'll put in as much as he receives. He'll be a person you're proud to call a graduate of Our Lady's campus. So take a look, give him a chance. You won't regret it, not one bit. Thank you.
I'm fighting.
I'm fighting for Paul.
And I'm fighting for Paul Bickel.
And I'm fighting to get Paul Bickel into Notre Dame.
And I'm fighting for Paul Bickel to be accepted to the University of Notre Dame.
Let Paul into Notre Dame.
Let Paul in, you won't regret it.
My name is Trevor Sprouse. I'm a sophomore in physics and honors math major, and I support Paul Bickel's quest for Notre Dame.
I'm Monica Gorman, class of 2016, and I support Paul Bickel's quest to attend Notre Dame.
Let Paul in, 2K14.